Flying today's airline, the world's largest airline, is generally about as exciting as walking up a flight of stairs. But that doesn't mean that there aren't deals to be had and comfortable options all across the country. Welcome to my Uber on the way to San Francisco International Airport, or SFO. I'm en route from San Jose's train station for a pair of flights to get me to Cabo via Dallas. I have no allegiance to American Airlines, and there are non-stop flights from SFO to Cabo, which leads to the question, why on earth are you taking this pair of flights that leaves at midnight? Well, the non-stop flights weren't until 9 a.m. at the earliest, so this pair of flights in first class and then business class was cheaper than getting a hotel for the night plus an economy non-stop flight. Travel creator math doesn't always make sense, but it does to me. Our flight would be leaving from the beautifully renovated Harvey Milk Terminal, also known as Terminal 1. Before we head inside though, let me welcome any of you that might be new to the channel. My name is Kevin. I'm here to give you a self-funded and honest look at some of the best, and some of the not so best, airlines and hotels in the world, which I've been bringing to you full-time for the past 4 years. Check out my hundreds of videos, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description to learn more about how I do things. This double whammy hotel with wings review begins now. Originally built in the 1960s and renovated in the 1980s, the Harvey Milk Terminal completed a full refurbishment in June of last year, and I gotta say, it's a really nice terminal now. Light, bright, a simple layout, ceilings that are higher than like 7 feet, essentially the opposite of what many people think when picturing US airport terminals. This series through the US is going to squash a bunch of those preconceptions, my own included. As someone who looks at these boards every day, I have to say the green is a very nice choice. As with most US carriers, check-in is a mostly self-service or mobile affair with lines reserved for bag drops and premium passengers. Our airline du jour is of course American Airlines. They are the largest airline in the world based on daily flights and passengers carried, and I'm sure plenty of other metrics as well. They certainly didn't start out this big though. The airline traces its roots back to 1930, when it was formed as a union of more than 80 small airlines, following new postal regulations in the US at the time. Apparently, they wanted to keep up with that heritage because it feels like the list of airlines that were purchased or merged or whatever to bring us to the American that we know today is a very long one. These are just some of them from the second half of the 20th century. A Vietnamese restaurant next to a little chihuahua in the Harvey Milk Terminal. It's starting to feel like this place was renovated just for me. I checked out the Admirals Club while here. Normally this lounge would not be open to first-class passengers, domestic first class that is, or passengers who didn't have status with the airline. But since I was connecting to an international flight, access was unlocked. The lounge itself is nice and was quiet at this late hour, though the food on offer left a little bit to be desired unless you're itching for gnarly sloppy joe. If you're enjoying the video and would like to support the channel, there are many ways that you can do so. A quick like on the video and subscription helps the videos with the algorithm. You could join my YouTube channel memberships to get early access to some videos and access to all of my community posts. Or you could check out my Patreon where I post the most and can help you out with travel related questions. Whatever you do, thanks for doing it. American was pivotal in the development of some significant aircraft over the years, and they were even one of the first proponents of the lie flat seat. Well, sorta. They were heavily influential in the design of the DC-3, specifically to make it wider than the DC-2 so as to fit sleeping berths in the plane across the width of the fuselage. They were also very influential in the development of the DC-10, looking for a wide-body jet that was smaller than the 747 and capable of landing on shorter runways. Boarding began right on time. Both of our aircraft would be A321s, with the first being 8 years old. These non-transcontinental versions of the A321s have 5 rows of first class in a 2-2 configuration. To clear up any confusion, nearly all domestic premium class flights are marketed as first class in the US. The same seats on the same planes would be sold as business class if the flight is international. So, let's try not to troll the hell out of the comments with this fake outrage that it's called first class. Here's my bi-monthly PSA, which in this series is going to be a lot more often than that. Do not be that jerk that commandeers the center storage area. These are standard recliners and nearly identical to the seats that I recently showed you on Qatar Airways 737 MAXs. No in-flight entertainment, but there is a device holder. Legroom is decent, the seats themselves are comfortable, and they're very similar to the seats that American uses for their long-haul premium economy, though in this case around 1.5 inches wider with a bit more legroom. We were privileged to be graced with pre-departure beverages. The crew on board this short red-eye were not exactly the most welcoming bunch. There are no onboard IFE monitors, but there is Wi-Fi you can connect to stream content to your device. Loads of movies and shows to choose from, including live TV channels. Soon after takeoff, we had a drink service, followed by an enhanced snack basket. Their words, not mine. I went with a vodka soda and a few literal blind selections. The lights in the cabin were off the whole time, and she was holding the basket next to her like a newborn baby, not wanting to extend her arm. You might be asking, first class and all you get is a bag of Cheez-Its? Yep. Here's how American decides who eats. Flights under 500 miles get the economy snack selection plus drinks. From 501 to 900 miles, you get this luxurious snack basket with drinks. From 901 miles or longer, you will get a meal service, but only if your flight takes off between the hours of 5 a.m. and 1:30 p.m., or 4:01 p.m. and 8 p.m. Something tells me there are a lot of flights that are scheduled for exactly 4 p.m. and exactly 8:01 p.m. Outside of those times, the enhanced snack basket makes its appearance. Now, I'm not complaining per se. An overnight flight, I can live with a snack basket. But I definitely do think that 8 p.m., that's way too early for a cutoff time. As well as that weird no man's land lunch gap. I landed at 5:15 in the morning and had a 5-hour layover. When preparing to write this script, I found a description of DFW which fits it perfectly. The vast majority of DFW's passengers are connecting, but the airport was designed to be convenient for locals. Gates are very close to check-in and baggage claim, but very far from each other. There are 5 concourses here, all connected by a SkyTrain airside. My game plan was to head to the D gates, which is more or less the international terminal, to go to the Capital One Lounge, even though my flight wouldn't be departing from these gates. What in the hell is this? Honestly, could you make the boards any more difficult to find your flight? I got there around 5:40, and I knew that I had one hurdle to get over. All of these credit card lounges, and quite a few airline lounges too, are usually really strict with the 3-hour prior to departure time limit. I went in and basically said, hey, so I know about the 3-hour policy, but I'm on a weird layover, so what if I went in now and I just promised you to kick myself out in 2 hours and 59 minutes? She laughed and let me in. It's a fantastic lounge, like really fantastic. The food is great, the coffee is great, the seating in the space is great. It is a great and fantastic lounge, like there's just no way to get around that. I do think all of the individual servings of food are kinda hilarious though. Some people were really stacking them up as if this was like a conveyor belt sushi spot. Before my self-imposed time limit expired, I asked to use one of the shower suites. The suites themselves are spacious and well set up, but, what the hell are these? Let's ignore the hair on the conditioner, thankful I didn't need that. Why are these necessary? Am I paying $400 a year for a credit card so I can take a shower with a half-rate Tide Pod? They even advertise these things in the airport. Anyway, a bit of plane spotting, and then we head to the sea gates. Okay, I'm going to paint a picture for you, so stay with me. This is directly from my notes on the day of the flight, so you know it must be true. Okay, so we're going to take the smell of a garbage dump on a lukewarm, humid day. I don't want to be dramatic. Combine that with a high-volume movie theater in the 90s before carpet cleaners were invented. That is what the sea gates smell like. Exactly that. I was looking around for a butter topping dispenser. The carpets there are foul. Luckily, well, kinda, they delayed the flight by an hour and switched us to the D gates, so I got back on the train for the third time. Our aircraft got to the gate around 45 minutes after our original boarding time, and we boarded around 30 minutes after that. Same seats, perhaps a little bit easier to see here though. The crew on this flight were the polar opposite of the prior. Warm, hospitable, chatty, and generous would be an understatement when it came to drinks. At one point, I was expecting him to open his jacket and see it lined with little Tito bottles. We started off with warm nuts, which was a nice touch for a short flight. For the meal, we had the choice of a vegetarian salad, which the crew was not exactly enthusiastic about, or chicken parmesan. I went for the latter, which was served with a random medley of roasted and/or dried vegetables with olives, alongside a slice of cheesecake. Despite this looking like it had been in the oven for 7 hours too long, this was actually really good, like 8.2 out of 10 overall. And with that, Baja California came into view. And so, that was my hotel with wings. Would I do it again? 100% yes. The reason is, there's so much time saved by simply not leaving the airport. If I stayed at a hotel in San Francisco, even if I got to a hotel at the airport, realistically, what would I get? 5 hours of sleep? 6 if I was lucky? I got nearly all of that on these 2 flights, saved a bit of money, and probably got to Cabo earlier than that nonstop flight. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this trip report today. If you did, please be sure to click that like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on my twice weekly videos. I'll see you next time from the Sira Lombok, a luxury collection property. As always, thanks for watching until the end.